question 5 gives you a pretty comprehensive grilling of most aspects of trigonometry. But in the first 3 parts in particular, generally you're just having to use and apply formulae. So it should be fairly straightforward. Part A, to start off with, asks us to find the length of BD. So if we mark on the length BD here, we can see that actually we've got here a right-angled triangle, and this is the hypotenuse. So we've got a right-angled triangle, and we've got the length here 40 and 95. So we're just going to use Pythagoras and say that BD is going to be the square root of 95 squared plus 40 squared. Now that's going to give us root 10,625, which is going to give us 103 meters to 3 significant figures. In part B, we are asked to find the size of angle DAB, which is this angle here. So we can see now that if we look at this triangle here, so DAB, if we're looking at this triangle here, we don't know that it's right angle. So we're going to be thinking to ourselves, it's either going to be the sine rule or the cosine rule. If we look at the information we've now got, let's mark this in here, we've got this length here, which is 103 meters. So we've now got all 3 sides of this triangle. So if you've got all 3 sides and you're trying to find one of the angles opposite, you're going to be using the cosine rule. So the cosine rule then, remember, is going to be cos A, so this is the angle that you're interested in, is the same as b squared plus c squared minus a squared, and a here is the side opposite the angle. So in our case, this will be the angle, therefore a has to be 103. It doesn't matter which way around b and c are. And then that's all going to be divided by 2bc. So if we substitute in for the numbers that we've got, I'm going to say that b is 70 squared plus 105 squared, for c squared, minus a squared is 103 squared, all divided by 2 times 70 times 103. And that gives us an answer of 0.362. Now, make sure you don't fall into the elephant trap of leaving your answer there, because remember that we are working out here cos A. So, therefore, if we want to find the angle A is actually going to equal inverse cos 0.362. Which is going to give an answer of 68.8 degrees. So this is all the information we've got so far. We've got the length dB and we've got the angle DAB. Now this is useful because part C asks us to find the area of triangle ABD, which is the triangle that we've been working with here. Now the information we've got here, you'll notice, is 3 sides and the included angle. Now, if we have 2 sides and the included angle, we can use the sine rule to find the area of a triangle. So the area of a triangle using sine is half AB sine C, and to reiterate, A and B are 2 adjacent sides, and C is the included angle. So in this instance then, we are going to say that the area is equal to half times A, which we'll say is 70, times B, which is 105, times sine C, which is the angle that we just worked out in part A, which is going to be 68.8 degrees. And that will give you an answer of 3,426 meters squared. Continuing on with part D then, we are asked to find the area of quadrilateral ABCD. So that's the whole area here. Now, we have just found out the area, this area here. So all we need to do to find the area of quadrilateral ABCD is just to find the area of this triangle. triangle here. So once we've found that, we can add it to this area. So we know therefore that it's going to be this value here, which we've already got, which is 3,426 meters squared, plus this area here, which is just going to be half times the base times the height, because this is a right angle triangle, because we're told that here. So if we substitute that in, we end up with an answer of 5,326.278. So if we round that up, that's going to give us 5,326 meters squared. Part E crosses the threshold of just using and applying formula. You've got to think a little bit more about this. We're asked here to find the length of AP. Now, it's a bit misleading from the diagram in the first instance, because this 70 meters here actually refers to the length AD. So what we're trying to find is this length here, AP. Now, at first glance, it's a little bit tricky to figure out what you're supposed to be doing here. But if you look back at the text at the top of the question, you're told that the farmer wants to divide the land into 2 equal areas, and that's why he builds this fence BP. So area PAB, this area here, is equal to this area here. So in order to find the area of this triangle PAB, we can just divide the total area by 2. So if we So let's take the area of 5,326 and multiply that by a half to find the area of APB, and that is going to give us an area of 2,663. So if you look at the information we've got, then we've got this side here, 105 meters. We've got the area of this triangle, which is 2,663. And from the previous question, we've also got this angle here, which we said was 68.8 degrees. So you should hopefully be thinking at this stage that we're going to be using the trigonometrical formula for the area of a triangle. So if we just cast our minds back to that, the area of a triangle using trigonometry is half AB sine C. Now if you look at the information we've got here, A and B are the two sides sandwiching the angle. So here we've got sine C, so that's okay. We've got half times A, so we can say that this one is A, but this length AP is what we're trying to find. So here let's say that this length AP represents B, but because we've got the area, we can substitute the area in here, and then we've only got one variable B, which we can hopefully solve. So we've said that the area is 2,663, and that is equal to half times A, which we're saying is 105, times B times sine 68.8 degrees. So if we solve that, we end up with 2,633 is equal to 48.9b, which means that b is equal to 2,663 all over 48.9, and that gives us an answer of 54.4086. So if we round that to 3 significant figures, that gives us an answer of 54.4 meters. In the final part of the question, we are asked to find the actual length of the fence PB. And you should be able to see now that given we have got two sides and the included angle here, if we want to find the final side, we're actually going to use the cos rule. We can just use the more traditional version. So the cos rule, remember, a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So if we substitute in the information we've got, then we can say that a squared is going to be equal to 105 squared plus 54.4 squared. So those are the two sides of the included angle that we worked out earlier. minus 2 times 105 times 54.4 times cos A, and we said that A was 68.8. And if we do that, we get an answer of 9,853.161. And it is very easy to congratulate yourself at this point and say well done. However, there is a final elephant trap to clear, which is that, of course, we have been working out here a squared, and we are asked to find the length PB, so we are going to need to take the square root of this answer to get the final mark. So if we take the square root of 9,853.161, etc., we are going to get an answer of 99.263, which gives us an answer of 99.3 to 3 significant figures.